Hello and welcome to Morning Call. Moin moin, as we say here in Hamburg. My name is Fab, and it's cold, it's dark, it's grey outside. I actually have a magic card that describes the day wonderfully. Uncomfortable chill. The cold slowed their movements until only their panicked eyeballs swiveled beneath the ice. That's that is today. We have the 25th of January. It's Friday, and here are some tech news for you. And good morning, Igwig. Hello, nice to see you. Yes, some tech news for you. But before we get into that, I wanted to mention I'm streaming this every morning live on Twitch, and I'm exporting it to YouTube, and then I'm making a podcast. And in the podcast show notes, I will put the video for the YouTube, the link to the YouTube video, so that you can, if you want to watch the video, you can do it later as well. The problem is that YouTube has been acting up for days, so usually the stream is a bit longer. There's some extraneous stuff at the beginning, at the end, and I usually cut that off in the YouTube video editor, but I haven't been able to do that recently because YouTube's just being stupid. Also, there's other stuff broken. I had a video upload that just wouldn't appear for ages. Just so you know, some struggles we go through, but I'm sure we'll get that sorted out. Anyway, let's get into tech news. In our first news, we have Microsoft 365, so Microsoft's cloud offering for Office has been having problems for the last day or two. So the latest status message is, quote Microsoft, we've determined that a subset of domain controller infrastructure is unresponsive, resulting in user connection timeouts. We're applying steps to mitigate the issue. Well, that's nice to know that even Microsoft has problems with their domain controllers. I love the reply to this tweet. It's just, this is fine GIFs. SpongeBob on fire. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Good morning, Jay Poser. Nice to see you around. Yeah, so if you're having problems with Office 365, you know why. It's not you. It's Microsoft. There is a new jailbreak for the iPhone. It's called the Chaos jailbreak. Apparently, it works by just you can go to a malicious website or just a website and then you get root. I say malicious, but this could also be, some people who want to jailbreak the iPhone. This could be good. Although, this can also be used to install malware on the device. iOS 12.1.3 is plugging this security vulnerability, so you might be wanting to get that. Or if you do not want to, if you want to jailbreak your iPhone, you don't want to get that update, but on the other hand, you have to be careful that nobody else jailbreaks your iPhone. This was discovered by a Chinese security company, and interesting. Still jailbreaks happening. Some things never change. In other vulnerability news, the Register reporting here that some attackers have apparently attacked Macs via JavaScript that was embedded via steganography in an image. So this, I think, was served over ad networks. So what they did is they, in ad networks, they serve you an image, but they also have a little bit of JavaScript with it that does something like it often. It will track if people actually saw that image and stuff like that, how long they looked at that image. And in this case, they served JavaScript that wasn't malicious looking, that was just a loader, and embedded the malware in the image, encoded it in the image, and the JavaScript would fetch that malware bit out of the image and then execute it on the target's browser, which then installed, I think, made a pop-up message or something, tried to trick people into installing a Flash update, which on a Mac, I mean, Apple famous for getting rid of Flash anyway, and that would then install adware. So interesting. Steganography, always an interesting topic. Also interesting because Macs, as you can see, are not invulnerable to malware, and there are apparently people starting to attack it. So thought an interesting story. Another story from the register, a kind of sad story, I think. So there were always new top level domains added. I have, for my current endeavor, I have fab.industries, and people can't deal with .industries as a TLD because it's too long. Here we have the country of South Sudan getting a TLD this month. Now, just guess what TLD they gave to South Sudan. What would that be? Yeah, .ss. No problems with that at all. Yeah, as the register aptly says, we did not see this. We did not see this coming. Eigentlich, it should have been eigentlich starting to talk German because of all the Nazi news. It should be we did not see this coming, but yeah, Internet will welcome Earth News Nation with Psy, a brand new .ss extension. Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to, like in Germany, we have laws against verfassungsfeindliche Symbole? The SS is one of them. In pretty much any so in Germany we have license plates where you have the city, you have a city code, and then you have numbers, letters, and then numbers. And usually you can get those. You can sometimes you can pay money to get special code, whatever. Anyway, they're never allocating SS as a license plate. Will they block this whole sublevel domain? Yeah, I foresee the Daily Stormer getting a new domain, says JPoser. I foresee a lot of people getting a new domain, and there won't be from South Sudan. It will be, I have to say, hilarious when the Nazis get the sublevel domain from Sudan. I mean, not a country that the Nazis would have loved. Although they'll probably rebranding this as like TLD colonialism or something. The Nazis, I don't know. So I'm reading this on the register. South Sudan was formed in 2011 when it broke away from Sudan following an independence war that was supported by nearly 99% of the affected populace. And the ISO, the government actually asked the ISO to give it SS, saying at the time that it had been told there was an association with the Nazis in Europe, but had applied for it anyway. Presumably as an African nation, they weren't all that bothered by a 70-year-old European problem. Might be they want to make money. I mean, these island states that make money by, what is it, IO? What's .io? I'm looking this up. There's some that are just like small island states. So IO is British Indian Ocean Territory. And of course, all the startups have it because IO is an input-output, so like a geek term. And maybe they just want to make money from the Nazis. Time for some domain squatting, says ASCII. At least we could make money off the Nazis. Yeah, the problem is... Iquick says, wait, that's my job here to make money off them. Is a good joke from Iquick, who's in Switzerland, who famously has all the German Nazi gold. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make money off Nazis. This is just all unfortunate all around, I think. Anyway, let's talk about some nicer topics. Let's talk about games. You might be interested in Anno, which is a German game series. It's like a build-up simulation game, and the recent ones have all been like set in the future, but the traditional ones were always set in the past, and they changed some stuff in the newer games that people didn't like. And Golem is saying, this is Mark Sauter writing for Golem, who's looked at this game and says it was supposed to come out. This is I should say the name of the game, shouldn't I? It's Anno 1800. It's supposed to be out on the 26th of February, or was. It's now coming out on 16th of April, so they pushed it back. Not surprising in video game development, to be honest, but Mark says this is cool. This is more like the old school Anno. So it's more like Anno 1404, and ignores a lot of the changes they made to the newer games. So that you can't see the whole map and stuff like that. I gotta say, it does look good. It's not a bad looking game. My God, that ad. You can see I'm not using an ad blocker. My God, now I'll have to talk for like 19 minutes and no, not 19 seconds. So get over that bloody ad. I don't want to show you pictures of people opening their mouth. This is like a dentist ad or something. So here we are. We are for the game. Oh damn, that was wrong. Sorry for that. It actually it does look quite good. I like it. It's good. It seems to be interesting. I was never a big Anno player. I don't know why. Possibly, I don't know. It's just my kind of game. I don't know why I've never gotten into it. Anyway, I might look at that. Going back to the old school. It's just right down my alley. More game-related news. I'm hugely interested in AI, and especially limitations of AI, because I think it's hyped, and people are attributing things to AI that they're saying AI could do that it can't. One of my pet peeves is video games or games in general. You know, after AI beat somebody at Go, it's like now they can do everything. And I read some research a while ago about StarCraft and how hard it is to teach an AI to play StarCraft. Now there's always these Crickle says, I lost lots of hours to the old Annos. Yeah, they're great games. I mean, especially in Germany. I don't know how well known they are outside of Germany, but yeah. Anyway, so AI playing StarCraft. There's always lots of reports on this, how good AI has gotten and stuff. And it's the story on Register about they pitting it's called DeepMind's, I think the company's called DeepMind, AlphaStar AI against professional StarCraft players. And it's actually won 5-0 2 times. But then they had a live stream and the human won. And now you read this and you think, oh, it's amazing how good AI can play this game. But you have to read further into the story. When the interesting part of this article is this. I'm going to read that out. So it's won against fairly good professional StarCraft players. They're not the best in the world, but they're pretty good. So this was what were they called? TLO and a guy called Mana. Mana I've actually heard of. I'm not really into StarCraft esports, but I've heard the name. So it says, AlphaStar has a few advantages compared to its human opponents. It played a slightly dated version of the game geared for research, in quotes, rather than for entertainment, and could glance at the whole map. Everything not hidden by the fog of war, including its own units and its enemies, can be seen at once. Humans don't get this luxury and instead only see bits and pieces clicking on parts of the map. Interestingly, when this restriction was removed from removed during the live match, Alpha Star was defeated by Mana. Quick reaction times are needed to adapt. Blah. So StarCraft's a very demanding game because it has basically 2 levels. You have to do a lot of micromanagement really fast, which is something I can't do. I can't even click that. I can't even click like a tenth of as fast as these guys can, and then you have to do lots of strategy at the same time. And the papers I've read were actually talking about how hard this is for computers to emulate, and especially all the research that was done before where AI could beat human players is always done like this. It's always that the AI can see the whole map. If the AI has to compete with humans at their level with the same restrictions, it can't beat them. It can possibly, they're probably as good now that it could beat me, who is a horrible StarCraft player, but it could never beat professional athletes. And I think this will go on for quite a while. I think you will still see a lot of stories. AI has beat human in, competitive StarCraft, whatever. But you have to read into these stories. And if you read into them, you'll see that often they're not competing on the same rules because the fog of war is the actual problem. That is actually the hard thing to do. Because, games like the strategy games like StarCraft and Dota and stuff like this varies hugely from chess or from Go because those are games of total knowledge. You know everything. Every player knows the whole board state at all times. And computers are really good with that because what they just do is they just brute force the problem. They're actually not really smart. These AIs are not really intelligent. You teach them strategies and that, but what they do to solve problems largely is just basically brute forcing that, trying all the solutions, seeing that these solutions don't work, going the other way, making mistakes and doing it again. You cannot do that if you don't have total knowledge of the board state. And humans are just a lot better to adapting, I think, still. Will probably be for a long time until we get quantum computers or something. Maybe that'll solve it. At just dealing with non-perfect information. It's the same thing. I'm as you can tell, I'm hugely into Magic the Gathering, and that is a very different game for something like chess. Especially because you do not have perfect information. There's a lot of stuff that isn't known that these AI problem-solving techniques just don't scale to. I find this fascinating anyway. Another story, this isn't really tech news, but I wanted to talk about this. It's YouTube news. So I hadn't heard of this guy, but I'm following him now on YouTube. He is great, I think. So there's a German YouTuber. I was a huge fan of Lego back in the day. I was building them. I had lots of Legos. But it's not something that I've done ever since I've grown up. I know a lot of people are still playing, building Lego. I'm not judging, right? I'm not judging. I've got like hundreds of Magic cards, and I'm doing Warhammer, and I'm painting little figures. So I'm not judging. Anyway, I just never got into it. But I know that a lot of people hugely into this, and I know that since the patent expired for like the actual brick, that there's lots of other companies who do compatible stuff. And so there's a guy, a German YouTuber, looks a bit like a teacher. Wouldn't expect him to be as cool as he is from his looks, so never judge a book by its cover. A guy called Held der Steine. That's his YouTube channel. He also has a shop called that. That means Hero of the Bricks, loosely translated. Now, I had never heard of him, but YouTube showed me this video, and I saw something on Twitter blowing up with him. Like, he got a cease and desist letter from Lego because he had a logo that was just basically a abstracted Lego. It was a brick with like little things at the top, as he says, Noppen. We got to get rid of the Noppen. And Lego is writing him like this letter. Like, you could, this is a trademark problem. People could confuse you with Lego. And you see this video of this guy sitting in his attic. He's got lots of Lego around him, but it's like, he's not, oh God. He was just going to show you what I was talking about, and then we get another ad. Anyway, here we go. That was his logo that they banned. It was basically his Held der Steine. It said Held der Steine, and then it had like this logo. And now he has a completely different logo, and he's basically saying, screw you. I really like. He's really nice. Watch this video if you know German. It's just, this guy's great. I mean, he obviously knows he has a lot of kids watching him, and he has kid compatible language, but he's very witty. And a great YouTuber, and he's saying, well, I still like their bricks. I don't like the company. They have quality problems and stuff like that. And they're saying you could be confused. I could be confused with them. I don't want to be confused with them because I'm all about quality, and they aren't. And he is great. Never stop building, actually, said Crickle. Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. I don't know why your life goes in different things. I started with Warhammer again. Who knows? But it's just, seeing his channel really cool. I just I subscribed to him quickly because actually, was that another account? Well, no, I'm logged in another account here. Anyway, he is a great guy. Igrik says, I have not enough space to build today. If I had more, I would do it again. There are so many great new models. He's actually saying he doesn't like the new models because there's like lots of licensed stuff, but not like the cool stuff from back in the day. And there's no new companies doing stuff. And I'm gonna deal with more of these companies. He's actually he's a Lego reseller. Like, he sells stuff. He has a store. He has like lots of stuff, and he's like, the way they're treating him is just dumb. Like, for Lego, this is really dumb. He's obviously an influencer. This video has 863,000 views. He has 188,000 subscribers, so I wouldn't deal with him. Crickle says, I have kids, so I'm basically swimming Lego, which is good. Yeah, if you have kids, it's a good excuse, right? I think my parents back in the day just gave me, I would get up very early in the morning, and I was a very talkative kid. You couldn't tell, right? Not me talkative, no. I would just get up in the morning, stand in front of the bed at 6 o'clock, no. So they just gave me Legos, like, okay, here, build that. Like, on the weekends, like, build that and wake us up when you build it. Obviously, then they had to buy me bigger and bigger things. So because I would get better and build them faster. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, that's it for today. It's just one more kind of what the fuck thing at the end that I just had to show you as well. You might have heard of Landwirtschaft Simulator. You might have heard of the fact that Germans like to play these games. I'm no exception. I love Euro Truck Simulator, where you basically, in your free time, do what other people do for their job. I'm still waiting for the journalism simulator. This is a game. Oh, there are lots of these games, and one of them is Farming Simulator, where you're basically driving a tractor around. I've never really played it. I've tried it a few times. I looked at it, but never really played it. And you might be surprised to hear, or not surprised to hear, that they were having tournaments last year, and they had a Farming Simulator Championship in 2018, and that was so successful that they now will have an esports league. Yes, you can now farm. Farming is now sport, an esport, and they will have $250,000 euros in prizes, 250,000 euros in prizes for season 2, which will have 10 tournaments in all of Europe. Virtual farming. Wow. Esports, great. I love esports. Crickle says, not surprising, but really weird. Yeah, it is really weird. I just thought that was a good Asky, I totally don't get this. Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, I don't know what it is. I just I like Euro Truck Simulator because it's really, really relaxing to me. Maybe, but then you wouldn't do it as an esport, right? It's just, maybe people are just good at it, and now they can do that. They can do it professionally. What do you do? What's your job? I drive virtual tractors, and I'm the best in the world. I mean, it's great. I love that. People, if they do what they like, then get more money with it. That's perfect. Anyway, ich hoffe, Sie haben ein schönes Wochenende. I hope you will have a nice weekend. I hope you are having better weather than we with here with our uncomfortable chill. I hope you'll chill on the weekend, and I'll see you next week for more tech news. Until then, keep. What do you say when you do keep plugging them bricks?